Hello everyone. Welcome to January's reading. I want to first start out by saying obviously my voice is crap today. I'm going to try to do my best and I hope that you can hear me. I hope this wasn't a mistake to film today, but I was sick just like a week ago. I was coughing and just kind of lost my voice. So I'm feeling better. I just don't sound better. So hopefully this isn't like a cheese grater to your ears, but I'm just so excited and I want to film this video. I'm ready to get a podcast out to you guys, so we're going to see how it goes. And before I jump in, I just want to talk about Otter Spirit because they sent me some bracelets to review. They wanted me to give you an honest review of them. And in the description down below, there's a link for 20% off. 20% off any order and then 30% off of any order above $100. And honestly, one of the reasons why I accepted kind of the collaboration and the offer here was because I only really like to work with companies that have, you know, good ethics, good mission statements. I've turned down more than I've accepted. And what I love about Otter Spirit is that they are actually family owned, but they're based in Monterey Bay, California, and a percentage of each of their sales go towards saving and rehabilitating and helping conservation efforts with the wild sea otters in that area who were at one point almost extinct, but they are now actually completely recovering. And you guys know me as an animal communicator, stuff like that's really important to me. And the fact that I can get like really awesome bracelets for them, but also feeling like, you know, my financial support goes towards a good cause, I think is super important. And what I love not only is just the packaging, you know, next level, but it comes with explanations of each of the gemstones that I got. Gives you a mantra for each, the intention. So like the labradorite is about intuition, also zodiac signs, what zodiac signs each of the crystals are kind of associated with, and the chakras. So I actually got like a set of 3. You can just get like one bracelet as well, but I was kind of just perusing their website and I just felt really called, well, first to their zodiac series. I almost got like a they have like several, like if I wanted Virgo or Pisces, but it was like Pisces intuition or Pisces clarity. But honestly, I trusted my gut, and this one is the Divine Feminine bracelet set. But yeah, it was just one of those things that I felt like I needed it. You know, Divine Feminine, all of these are related to intuition. Amethyst is my birthstone, as you know, a February birth date. Moonstone is also about intuition. I'm not wearing it today, but I usually have like a moonstone ring. I love moonstone. So all 3 of these are very intuitive, but also about like self-love and embodying that divine feminine. So yeah, I really, really like this. This is also the mini set. You can get the beads a lot bigger as well, just like the normal set. But if you really like the ones that I'm wearing or the size, these are the mini. So the stones are just a lot smaller. So yeah, a huge shout out to Otter Spirit for sending these to me. I legitimately love this. There's so many times that, you know, as a psychic, you go to the fairs, you go to stores to pick out bracelets, and they either fall apart, the beads are not good. I shouldn't say beads, it's like this legitimate stones. They hand pick each one of these too, which I thought was really cool. And just the fact that it supports a good cause, I mean, is just awesome. Overall, it just, you know, it feels good quality. And I've had a lot of crystals gifted to me over the years. So yeah, shout out to Otter Spirit again. Go down into my description for your code if you want 20% off. It works forever, so you can come back anytime. And yeah, feel free to check out their Zodiac series, their intention setting series. All of it is just good quality and then just unique to you and the things that you're trying to bring in. So if you want to spend some of your holiday money, give a gift to yourself, definitely check them out. All right, let's get into January. I felt called, even though it's technically still Yule, by the end of January, we're approaching Imbolc, so I'm using my Imbolc deck. I just feel like Spirit told me to grab these. So yeah, let's see what our overall energy is. Oh, look at that, amethyst. How funny. I'm wearing amethyst. And self-ceremony. Go where your spirit dwells, where your sight is clear, and your breath is liberated. I promise I didn't pick this out to match my bracelet, but that's what amethyst is. You know, amethyst, I'm very familiar with it because it's my birthstone. I've got big old hunks of it next to me too. Amethyst is about intuition, going inwards, going where your spirit dwells, where your sight is clear. You know, there's this withdrawing energy and going into your intuition and prioritizing yourself, prioritizing like your spiritual self too this month. Create the visions you desire, take actions and the plans that lead to fulfillment. I love this. I feel like we're more so, I like how both of these girls are just sitting. I feel like what we're doing is we're still hibernating. We're coming up with like the plans that we want to create, the intentions that we want to still create maybe for the new year. And we're doing the inner work around them. We're doing the intentional manifestation work around them. We're focusing on the visions and we're coming at it from a guided, aligned place. We're not just like, oh, I'm going to do that thing because that's what, you know, society wants me to do or my parents want me to do or, you know, what I think I should be doing. It's coming back to center. I'm getting refocused and taking into account what Spirit has to say, what I feel about it. You know, do I think I can actually accomplish that this year? And what are my visions for January, but also for the new year? I feel like this is very much like reset energy. And then it might be that like towards the end of the month, what we're doing is we're like, all right, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to take action on this. And like just pointing out the Astro dice here, we've got Venus in Capricorn in the 3rd house. But this is like our relationships, our love towards ourselves, like the things that we enjoy, the little luxuries in life, you know, clothes, your partner. Like it's that feel good Venus energy of like rose colored glasses. But it's interesting because it's in our 3rd house of communication. And it's showing up in communication. Like we are making sure that when we communicate, we're doing it from this aligned place. It could even be with your siblings or your neighbors. You're coming together. I remember there is like a community aspect of January astrologically. And you're kind of setting these like long-term goals of like, who do I want to be? How do I want to communicate? How do I want to interact with the world? In the long term, but also like you're laying the foundations right now. So a lot of January reset energy for sure. So let's see how this energy is going to show up. First off, look at this new deck that my mother-in-law got me for Christmas. It's so cool. Like this is the bottom of it, by the way. And the guidebook is like a literal map. It's so cool. This is like a deck that you didn't know you wanted, but the minute you got it, you're like, oh my gosh, yes. And I actually pulled my card for the year. I've got the Emperor for this year. But anyways, just kind of wanted to show it to you in case you're like, oh my gosh, I need a new deck, but I don't know which one. Here's the backs of the cards. And they have like this kind of like, I don't know, there's probably a name for this, but like wooden-esque style. I love these so much. All right. Okay, I'm asking, how is this energy showing up this year? Or sorry, this, I'm so focused on 2026, this month. All right, we're making decisions. We're making decisions. I had the 3 of Cups reversed, which can be about like friends. You know, I do feel like there is this sense of like, who is my friend and who is not, and maybe getting a little bit more clear on, you know, if this person is somebody I want to be around, how do I communicate better with them? Maybe realizing that some friendships are not for us, or it's as simple as getting closer. You know, when we get closer to our intuition and understand the visions that we want, we realize, oh, actually, this is a person I want to have more in my life. Or, you know, maybe they're not aligning with that version of me, that future version of me. And so, you know, it's time to make a decision. It's time to move forward from these things. And again, it's because you're prioritizing yourself and your needs and your wants. And you're realizing what is an energetic match and what is not, again, with communication. And it's not coming from a place of like, I hate you. It's coming from a place of like, I have more clarity on me and what I want, and I'm able to communicate that better. I love that. And I will say too, if you missed it, I did do a 2026 overall video for the energy of the year. Which might be worth going back and watching if you haven't yet. And I also covered the astrology of the year, the whole year. Just like very brief overview. I love this card. I feel like I pull it almost every time I use this deck. Forged in Fire. This is going to be our biggest obstacle this month, is understanding that resistance, the things that are putting pressure on us, are not here to derail us, but to help us forge something new. And when we can lean into that resistance, lean into what's working, not working, so maybe it is this relationship, and instead of trying to force that relationship to work, we let it go, we make that decision, we move forward with the Chariot. It's almost like you see on the other side how much better things can be. Your strength was crafted through adversity, a mastery only you behold. I do think that part of this is like you in the background as you're doing this contemplative work, you are birthing something new. You're kind of like, I just heard the word alchemize, like you're alchemizing maybe some of the stuff that was left over from the end of the year, and you're kind of understanding how to make it work for you instead of against you. You're integrating it as part of your story instead of seeing it as like a challenge. Like, for example, like my husband and I had a really rough year last year, but as it's taken the turn for the better, I feel like I'm more in this zone of like, see how much better our relationship is because of this. We had to go through that really hot, intense fire together. And now we have something new and better and more strong and secure. And so I'm making that a part of the story instead of, oh God, am I separating? Are we getting a divorce? Like, what is going on? And I'm choosing to see it from that perspective. This is a very like mental month. Winter Balsam, you know, balsam being the type of wood here, and what are they called? Freaking sweepy sweeps. Brooms, oh my God. Like it says, sweep away ill intent while creating boundaries weaved with protection, which respects passages of safety. I love that. That's like, you know, witches put brooms above their doors. They also put like witches' bells on their door handle. They put cinnamon out on the start of every month on their front mat, just to like keep themselves protected. And so I do feel like this is more of a mental thing. We're sweeping away ill intent, ill thoughts, any shadow work that really needs to be done while creating boundaries weaved with protection. So that's again some of this energy of like, you know, I've figured out who I want to be, what I want to attract, what I want to do this year. But I'm also setting those boundaries up of like, no more. I'm not going to like allow these types of people in. I'm not going to allow myself to self-sabotage or go into this behavior. I'm drawing up the boundaries. I'm making a choice. So there is this sense of like putting up boundaries mentally this month, which might cause some problems with other people. But as long as it's coming from a place of like, this is what's important to me, intuitively I know this is right, this is the version of myself that I want to manifest, and you need to either respect that or move on. One of the goals for this year, hopefully pretty soon, is to get a oracle deck that's mine, that's built, that I can use right here for this card every single month, which is, what are we using our psychic abilities for? They told me to ask a better question. How can we use our psychic abilities this month? Yeah, that's better. Oh, just clairvoyantly, focusing on clairvoyance. Well, heck, maybe I'll make that our challenge over in the Psychic Development Society this month, is just clairvoyance. Every single month we do a virtual challenge. I'm a little late to putting up this month because I just got back in town, but maybe we do clairvoyance. I was literally already thinking of doing that. So clairvoyance, that's what we want to focus on this month, is seeing. We're already going to be in a place of, you know, connectedness with our intuition. So use that to connect with your clairvoyance. Use, you know, clairvoyance to figure out the visions of the future that you want. And again, I know that clairvoyance doesn't work for everybody. Don't get in your head too much about it. You can always use another clair. Final thing I always like to ask, is there anything else we need to know about this month? Ooh, watch out for where you're projecting or where other people are projecting onto you. I feel like it's more us doing the projecting, and we need to do shadow work around that. Maybe it's, you know, we realize where we're projecting in this, and we're making a choice to get out of that. Let me just read this card. How have your internal problems and emotions been projected onto something or someone outside of you? In what ways have you been misinterpreting your reality? What is mirrored back at you? You know, I actually think this is a pretty huge piece of advice because of the Saturn-Neptune conjunction that's about to go exact in February. So we're probably feeling a lot of that energy of like, what's real, what's not. And sometimes you think things are real. You know, maybe your partner's doing something and you're like, oh my God, but they're actually not doing that. And it's you projecting onto the situation. It can also go a different way of like, maybe you have really high hopes and dreams that are way, way unrealistic, and you're projecting those hopes onto the situation when you need to be more realistic with yourself. Again, make time for just some contemplative work this month. Yeah, and it's about fears. It's about what you fear. Your fears are being projected onto the situation, and we need to be able to remove those fears with the devil. I don't know who this is. Is this Sauron? No. Ringwraith? No. I don't know. The Crown. It's been a minute since I watched this series. Somebody help me out. But that's what's getting projected, is our fears. Like, our fears are literally getting projected onto our reality. So another reason why, have that self-ceremony, come back to your intuition, create time for that spiritual practice. I just saw my video pop in my head of my, I'll just link it in a card above. It was like my nightly ritual. And I went through all of the things that I definitely am not doing right now that I should be. Maybe that'll give you some ideas of things you can do. Sorry, it got so bright. Awesome. I'm here for it. I feel like this was the first year that I was kind of like, I don't really want to set intentions. I still want to like hibernate and just move through this time and slow down. I'm not really ready to start new yet. Maybe I'll do that on the Lunar New Year. Right now, I just want to reset and refocus. And I think we all could be doing that. So again, you can get all these decks in my links down below, and feel free to reach out to me for a private reading. Again, I am still doing my 2026 personalized readings up until the end of January, so they will be gone after January 31st. You just have to book by then. Awesome. Let's move to the Astro Forecast and get this lighting dealt with. All right. Let's get into January's Astro Forecast. Just as a side note, if any of you want to get the honeycomb journal this year, I did make a little like instructional video on the Psychic Development Society. You can find it in the Psychic Circle, of just like what options to choose so that you can know if you're a little bit new to things, how to structure your journal. I haven't gotten mine in yet. I ordered mine. I actually had them printed this year, so I'll show you what it looks like in February. But it also comes with like PDFs, so I also just printed out January's. There's a lot of little things going on this month, but I'm just going to kind of, again, clump it together, give you the overview, and just give you the major things to look out for. All right, so I just threw up the major outer planets. And the first thing that we've got going on January 3rd, which is basically tomorrow or the day that I put this up, full moon in Cancer. So full moon, illumination, it shows you where things are most intense. Sometimes a lot of emotions, a lot of buildup. Again, the moon cycle starts at a new moon. The full moon is right in the middle and it ends at another new moon. So this is like the culmination of maybe whatever intentions you set at the new moon, what's working, what's not, what needs to be readjusted. And this is going to show up for everyone differently based on the house that it's in. So it's going to be in your house of Cancer. So I will just start by saying, if you are an Aries, this will be in your 4th house. Taurus 3rd, Gemini 2nd, Cancer 1st, Leo 12th, Virgo 11th, Libra 10th, Scorpio 9th, Sagittarius 8th, Capricorn 7, Aquarius 6, and Pisces 5. Now, the biggest thing really with January is that there's just going to be a lot of stuff in Capricorn. So we've also got Venus in Capricorn, Mars in Capricorn, and the Sun. Mercury is also here. It moves there right on the 1st of January. So just know this moon is in opposition to all of these planets. So there might be some things happening with other people in your life. Again, that totally resonates with the intuitive reading. Oppositions usually show up outside, like in the outside world, not just inner world. And the sun is kind of like shining a light on some of it too. And basically all of January, these planets are moving with each other. They're all like basically conjunct, and they're opposite of what's going on in Cancer. And I'll come back to that in a second. Well, right now, because on January 10th, this is just one of the harder parts of the month. We have Mars opposite Saturn. So Jupiter. This is just going to bring a lot of like impulsiveness, desires that you want really bad. Like you might feel more daring, like wanting to speak up, prove yourself to others, take on challenges. And just the advice here is to just remember to like take some time for that self-reflection. This can also be pretty positive because Jupiter wants to expand and Mars wants to do. So like using this wisely to focus on like bigger goals and not jump into impulsivity could definitely get channeled like more positively in your life. I'm jumping forward quite a bit, but just remember all of these planets are kind of heavy in the Capricorn area. There's a lot of like planning, thinking ahead, being pragmatic, maybe when you don't quite want to. It's just like some heavier energy. But then on January 18th, we have a new moon in Capricorn. So great time to set new intentions around something that you want in your Capricorn sector. So my 5th house is like kids, romance, new projects. It can sometimes be entrepreneurship, having fun, so setting new intentions around that. So For everyone else, Aries, this new moon is going to be in your 10th house, Taurus 9th, Gemini 8, Cancer 7, Leo 6, Virgo 5, Libra 4, Scorpio 3, Sagittarius 2, Capricorn 1, Aquarius 12, and Pisces 11. So again, on new moons, fresh starts, set some good intentions. Feel free to check out my moon phase video for some ideas. Oh, I forgot to actually move my moon over here. So this new moon is also conjunct Mercury, Venus, Mars. It's also sextiling Saturn and Uranus and Neptune. That's a lot. So essentially, it's in line with all of these planets. But you're getting a little bit of the Saturn energy. You're getting a little bit of the Uranus energy. So there's definitely a lot going on this month of like really finishing out this chapter of figuring out what Saturn and Neptune and Uranus are doing kind of in your chart, more so Uranus next month. But you might be feeling a little bit of the tension of how this is all combined, or at least starting fresh. But Uranus just can sometimes bring something unexpected. Saturn can bring restrictions to this new moon, and it might just get baked into the chart for the next month. So it could be bad, it could be good. Again, it's dependent on your chart. So like, I'm starting something new with romance, my children, but there's something still difficult of my 7th house of romantic relationships. Something unexpected coming up in my 9th house that's just all kind of combined around this time. January 19th, we have the sun moving into Aquarius, so it's now Aquarius season, activating a lot of Aquarius themes for the next month, which, you know, is really going to give us some idea of what Pluto is doing there and what it's going to do there for the next 20-some years. And even if you're not like an Aquarius birthday, you're still just going to have Aquarius kind of like activated for you for that month. So Aquarius is my 6th house, so I'm going to have a heavier focus on routines, getting the things that I need to get done, health sometimes. The sun always comes to shine a light on it. On the 23rd, Mars leaves Capricorn and moves into Aquarius. So a little bit less tense in the Capricorn sector. The real big thing about this month is on January 26th. Oh, and sorry, by then Venus has also moved into Aquarius and Mercury. So now they're all kind of over here now. We've got Neptune moving back into Aries, where it will stay for the next 14-ish years. It's not going back. It's not retrograding back anymore. This is like we have the final hurrah kind of in Pisces the last couple of months, just so you could understand what was Neptune doing in Pisces. Neptune is illusions, it's dreams, it's idealization, but that can be both bad and good. It's like having idealization about your life that's not realistic, but also those dreams can fuel you forward into having something better. Wherever Pisces is in your chart, you're going to get an alleviation finally off of Pisces. So that's off of my 7th house of relationships. There's not going to be as much confusion here anymore. There's just going to be clarity moving forward, because Neptune can kind of bring that confusion, that fogginess, that head in the clouds energy. So definitely pay attention. What happens around this day, give or take like 2 or 3 days. Take notes. That's what Neptune is doing here in this new house, this new sign for you for the next about 14 years. So this day, there's going to be a start of a story. Again, you would have already experienced it a little bit last July and August. That's why I told you to take like such vigorous notes. You can go back to those videos and those dates to see what themes might be coming up. But the great thing, Pisces is going to get a little bit of an alleviation there. I'm really excited to have that out of my 7th house. romantic relationships, client relationships, having more clarity around that. But again, this is not like a bad thing because I just grew like a whole business in those last 14 years. And I've had great one-on-one client relationships, even with Neptune there. It's helped me dream big and build what I wanted to build. So now we will have 2 of our 4 outer planets permanently in their new spots. Saturn is going to be next month. Uranus won't be till April. And then right at the end of the month, we've got, I know it's not a good representation because I got so many things over here, but Mars and Pluto go conjunct, so they're right on top of each other. In your personal life, this is like the ability to commit yourself to a task or a goal. Lots of strength, lots of determination, single-minded focus, like obsession, investigative research. This is where we find power plays more globally coming to the surface, where everyone starts to get obsessive about trying to dig into something and figure out the secrets of something. Pluto's the underworld, it's depth, and Mars wants to cut through that. Mars wants to take action on understanding and finding what that is. Pluto is death and rebirth, also destruction, hidden power. I feel like we are going to see some big happening politically. It probably starts a lot of the February stuff. And that's kind of, this is not a good day to do anything big, just as a side note. I mean, like, in your personal life, if you want to go after goals, but maybe don't start something like brand new, like a new business or something, or launch something close to that day. And I just want to speak, as we go into February, there's a lot happening in February. Towards the end of the month, we're getting an eclipse. We're also getting the exact 0-degree conjunction of Saturn and Neptune in Aries. Also, Saturn moves into Aries. We've got Mercury retrograde. There's just a lot happening. But point being, you're going to start to feel some of the energy of that Saturn-Neptune conjunction as we get towards the end of the month. So just know, things are not going to be clear. Things are going to be fuzzy. Even though he's changed signs, they're still really close to each other. And in February, they're going to come exact. And it almost went exact last July, August 8th. And that was like that whole kite formation that I was heavily paying attention to. So it's not just going to be like on February, one of the days, and it's kind of towards the middle from my memory. Don't quote me on that. Like, it's not just like, oh, all the things are going to happen that are bad on that day. You get, as these planets get closer to each other, you get more of an intensification of it and more of those themes popping up and growing towards the end of January and into February. So you're already going to see some of that energy by the end of the month. Also, Uranus is going to be doing some crazy things even in Taurus in February, but just giving you a little preview. February is like one of the most big volatile months. I mean, volatile in a different way. July, I'm also concerned about, again, if you watch the full 2026 astrology breakdown. But my point here is like, you're still going to see some of that globally. It can show up in your life definitely more productively, depending on, your chart. If you have a day chart, this month might be a little bit more challenging. Night charts, a little bit easier. And what I mean by day chart and night chart is, where's your sun? Is your sun on the top half of your chart, meaning it was daytime when you were born? So if you just know the time of day you were born, like I'm really, really close to having my sun. It was actually sunset when I was born, but I'm technically a night chart, just based on where my descendant lies in my 7th house. But yeah, that's what I mean by day chart, night chart. And if you want to know some of my predictions for February, I am going to record a podcast. I don't know if I'll do it today. I really want to, but we'll see how my voice is doing. Around what I think is going to happen with this Saturn-Neptune conjunction in February and with our lunations in February and the start of the eclipse, just the things that I'm predicting around February and March. So I'm going to record like just a separate kind of shorter podcast recapping the last eclipse cycle from September, which I still never got around to, as well as what that kite formation, the Saturn-Neptune conjunction, was doing in August. I didn't fully recap all the events. And I also decided to start making like an Excel document to track all of this, which I'm going to share on the Psychic Development Society as well, so that you can just easily pop in there and find all my notes and not have to just go sifting through my podcast. Because that's what I've been doing, and it's a pain in the butt. All right, you guys. Happy January. I will see you. I'm going to try to really get February's up early. I know that this month was a little bit late. I just got back in town like 2 days ago. And I was going to record it yesterday, but my voice was even worse yesterday. So thank you for your patience. I'm so excited for 2026. I'm also terrified, but we're going to go through it together. And I think, again, like always, being prepared and being forewarned is always better than having things hit you blindly. So I hope that's how you view my astrology readings at the end of each month. And as soon as I'm done recording that podcast that I talked about, I do plan on recording just like 2026 predictions as a whole. Just my predictions. That's going to be the next kind of big political podcast. And I want to get that up preferably before February as well, because a lot of those predictions happen in February. I got to be quicker. All right, everyone. Happy January. I hope you had a great holiday. Let me know what you're manifesting for this month. Let me know what astrology placements you're excited about, or what in our reading you're most excited to see happen. If you have any questions, leave them down below. Give this video a like, and I will see you in the next one. All right, bye.